thrill me.
This show is part of the Thrill Me Podcast Network. Experience more on Facebook and YouTube.
It's Review It Man, reviewing what he can. Movies are his jam, so let's get twisted, man. It's Review It Rob. Hey, yo, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Review It Rob Show. I am, of course, your host, Review It Rob, coming at you in a grumpy mood, man. But not really. We'll get to that in a moment. But I hope all of you are doing fantastic since last time we talked. Got a fun, spoiler-free review for you this week for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, the sequel we've been waiting for since Into the Spider-Verse came out. Gonna be talking about that again, spoiler-free. Got, of course, your mandatory DC news and mandatory horror, spooky thriller news on this episode, as well as other things, including maybe a little bit of video game talk, other Spider-Man talk, all kinds of stuff going on this episode, man. Appreciate you joining in. If you can please do me a favor and hit that like, subscribe, and share for the show, that would be fantastic, man. I mentioned it earlier in a joking manner, a little grumpy today. Today, I decided to start working on my weight, which is always a fun thing. So, I'm give or take 3 months away from the HHN trip, and I need to really try to get the old body here ready and in shape, maybe lose some poundage so I can maybe ride some rides, but also just to be ready for all the walking, because Halloween Horror Nights is a ton of walking, man. So, a little grumpy there. I missed my good friend soda while I was at work, but diet soda. I don't drink regular soda, but diet soda is probably just as bad for you, so whatever, man. I was drinking water all day, and which my body severely needed. I do not drink enough water, for sure. There's two things about me: I do not drink enough water, and I do not sleep nearly enough. But hey, life is short, and we got to do what we got to do, right? But nonetheless, man, I got to jump into the review for you real quick here. Didn't really have anything else going on, right? No, not really. Not really have anything going on. I'm seeing Transformers this week. Gonna review that spoiler-free next episode. I think it's Rise of the Beast is what it's called. Gonna be reviewing that next week, seeing it Wednesday. So it's a special Regal preview. So if you have Regal, or if you go to Regal as your movie theater, if you have the Regal Unlimited Pass, which I do have, which I do still enjoy, even though they kind of limit things every now and then, you can only, put 3 movies on hold or buy 3 movies right away on the app. Then, you have to go to the actual theater and show them the pass to get other movies and all that stuff. First world problems, I know. I'm just trying to cry. But nonetheless, seeing Transformers at a Regal special event. They said they're giving prizes, so can't wait to see what those are. But I will review that, of course, next week. But as for this week, man, let's go ahead and jump into the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse review for the show. It is rated PG for some language and animated action violence and thematic elements. It is a kids and family action film. Runs in at 2 hours and 20 minutes. That is a problem. We will talk about that a little bit when I get into the review. As for the synopsis, Miles Morales returns for the next chapter of the Oscar-winning Spider-Verse saga, an epic adventure that will transport Brooklyn's full-time friendly neighborhood Spider-Man across the multiverse to join forces with Gwen Stacy and a new team of Spider people to face off with a villain more powerful than anything they have ever encountered. Rotten Tomatoes and the audience both love this, with a critic score of 95% and an audience score of 96%, while IMDb is following in that 90s with a 9.1 out of 10. So, what were my thoughts on the film? Honestly, this is probably right in the realms of being third on my list of anticipated comic booky films that were coming out this year. Of course, Flash being number 1, end all be all for me this year, and then Guardians Volume 3. So going in, it was this, and then Blue Beetle, anticipating that one. But, I was really excited for this one. I liked the first one a lot. I thought, the breathtaking view, the story was strong, the soundtrack was good, all of that stuff was awesome with the first movie. So I was ready for this one. And it took a couple of years. And honestly, got to tell you, I really enjoyed the film. I thought, they even upped it to a degree that I was not I guess I should have been expecting, with, how breathtaking the animation was in the first film. But they they went over the top on this one, man. They went above and beyond with the animation for this film. Like, it was so incredible. And I know I'm not the cinematography guy, and I'm not the, talking about how film looks and all that stuff. I let other people, talk about that stuff. I just talk about the, watching experience and all that stuff. But, unbelievably breathtaking, man. Like the way that they just stylize this whole element where it looks like you're watching a comic book, come to life. We watched, of course, live action comic books, but this was like a comic book that felt like it was moving while you were reading through it, kind of deal. Which was pretty much, what the first movie was like, but just on a grander scale this time around, and just so incredibly breathtaking with the things that they were doing. And I love the way the art blended and changed and all that stuff. Like it was so well done and so freaking cool. Especially with Spider Punk, dude, like Spider Punk and the animation revolving around Spider Punk and all that. So awesome, so incredible. Our returning cast of voice characters were still awesome, of course. Um, and we had Oscar Isaac joining this time around, as well as Daniel Kaluuya. Both fantastic in what they did here, and loved all the voice acting as always. Haley Steinfeld's always great. Shamik Moore was fantastic again as Miles Morales. I like that story, and I'm glad they're you know building off of the Miles Morales stuff, and I'll have more news to talk about following that. Of course, you got the Spider-Man 2 video game coming out that has Peter Parker and Miles Morales in it, so love that they're embracing that in the Spider-Verse and all this stuff. As for the movie itself, very solid film. Like, it is a very enjoyable film. Now, I did mention the 2 hours being 2 hours and 20 minutes being very long, and it was. It's a long time to watch an animated film, and I think I talked about this with Super Mario Brothers, that I don't watch a whole lot of animated films, be it computer generated or regular animation or what have you. I think they're all computer animation at this point. The vast majority of them are, at least. And I don't know, kids films and all that stuff. I don't gravitate towards them unless they're like something I'm very interested in. Of course, like the DC animation products, or this films, the Spider-Man films, or Super Mario, or like a sequel to a film I loved when I was a kid, like Toy Story, when they bring those back around or whatever. So being excited for this film was something that was different again, because I enjoyed that first one so much. But asking, not even me, asking kids to sit still for 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2 hours, 16 minutes, 2 hours, 20 minutes, whatever, it was, it is a tough deal. And I talked to one of my friends, and he was like, his kid had a tough time, wanted to leave partially during it. So it's like, man, like, what are we doing? It's a long time to watch it. And there was moments when I was watching it with my friend, bringing up another friend, saw it with a friend. He was like, I fell asleep a couple times, and he loves Spider-Man. He loves the Marvel stuff and all that. So it was just, it was a long run time. And again, that's nothing against the film itself, but, they definitely could have cut some things out. I don't know if you saw my short, quick reaction on the Throw Me Podcast Network's YouTube. Please go, like, subscribe, and follow over there. We got all kinds of fun stuff going on. But over there, I did my short, and one of the things I said, and of course you have to be a wrestling fan to understand this, but it was like a John Cena match. There were so many false finishes in this movie. Like, there was times I was watching the movie, all right, cool, we're heading towards the end. I'm like, nope, here we go. All right, cool, here we go. Now we're heading towards the end. Nope. All right, nope. All right, we're going to the end. Nope. Okay. It kind of kept going over and over again, where it's like, okay, fine. It's cool. I'll keep enjoying the animation. The animation's really good, but they definitely could have cut some fat, right? Like I'm trying to do right now, cut the fat. They could have cut the fat. But that, again, that doesn't hinder the film necessarily. It's just something to be like forewarned going into. The kiddos may not be able to enjoy this, and I know all of us, be it kids or adults, whatever. We all have our different kind of things and what we're into, and there could be kids that very well could sit down for 2 hours and some odd minutes and watch that film from start to finish, because it is a breathtaking, and the colors are coming at you and all that, but it is a lot of dialogue. It's a dialogue heavy film, which again, not a problem. I'm good with stuff like that. But for other people, mentioning my friend I saw it with, not a dialogue person. So sometimes it's just the thing that you run into, and you gotta be prepared for. And that's what I like to do, is just give you like real thoughts here. Like, I don't ever want to be negative about a film, and again, I will never tell you not to see a movie, because we all love and enjoy different things. So I give you those scores at the beginning, because we all have different vibes and all that stuff. It's not, I don't give you those scores because I think they're accurate. Freaking, I could care less what percentages and audience scores and all that stuff are for things. It's just thoughts and opinions, just like I'm giving you mine. It's just thoughts and opinions, but, all in a fun manner. But overall, like, I really enjoy this, and I can't wait to see where it goes. This film is, of course, a setup to another film that is becoming, because I believe it's called Beyond the Spider-Verse. That's coming up, and that's, of course, what this film sets up and leads to. So be prepared for, one of those endings that leads into a new film. Also be prepared for no credit scenes. There are no credit scenes for the film. Read something today that they did have a scene, but they cut it from the release. Another thing I had with this movie is the audio was very low, and I saw a lot of people reporting this after I got done seeing the movie, and apparently, they sent out a low volume copy of the film, but that could take you out, of the film as well. Hopefully, haven't seen anything lately about that, so hopefully that's been fixed for everybody to enjoy. And again, not crapping on the movie. I really had really enjoyed it. Thought it was a fantastically put together movie. Just a little bit long, you're asking a lot here, but overall very fun and enjoyable. Is it my favorite animated film of the year? No, Mario still has that. Mario might, be my number one favorite film of the year. Just again, it's that and Megan until the Flash comes out, and the Flash immediately goes to number one. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed it and had a good time. If you enjoyed the first film, you're gonna enjoy this one. Again, you just have to be prepared for timing. That's the main thing that you're gonna have to look at here, because again, the visuals are stunning, the story's good, the voice acting is good, all that stuff. It's got all that stuff. The main thing that may hinder it is the length of time to watch it. But I've seen people have seen it multiple times already, so who's to say? I saw the Batman multiple times in theaters, and that's over 3 hours. So different strokes, different folks. Is that the saying? Whatever it is. But, overall, thoroughly enjoyed the film. I'm not going to sit here and say I did not enjoy the movie. I had a good time with it. I will watch it again whenever it, releases on streaming. I don't know where it'll go, but whenever it releases on streaming, I'll check it out then and all that stuff. But overall, enjoyable film, worth your time, especially if you love that first one. Go check it out. All right, going from there, let's go to DC news, shall we? Keep it in the Super Bowl. Keep it in the superhero comic booky world, man. With the biggest news, of course, going on around the DC is the highly anticipated Flash film that is on the way. Not just highly anticipated by me, highly anticipated by a ton of people. This is the film that is being considered one of the greatest comic book films ever created. That, of course, now that's going on. We're getting some news now that The Flash will have a premiere, only one premiere. They're not doing that because of Ezra Miller, you assholes. They're doing it because they want to keep things under wraps. Of course, that goes along with what happened at CinemaCon, where they censored and blurred and removed parts of the film to keep the surprises going for the DC film before it releases wide. I love that Warner Brothers is doing this. I love that the DC Studios is doing this. Keep the surprise, man. We're living a world where people are just absolute shitheads. I apologize for cussing. But, I mean, that's what you got to call them. Who just, ruin everything, just throw stuff out there on the internet over and over again. The defender, you should have got on the internet. No, screw you. Internet's a part of everybody's life now in this day and age. We're going to get on the internet. How about you not spoil things? Boom, there you go. But yeah, the film will have one premiere in LA, and speaking of other premieres, they're doing a lot of test screenings or special screenings, not even test screenings of films, special screenings and all that stuff. And Sasha Calle, who is Supergirl, is just out there killing it. She is fantastic. Absolutely love her energy and love her passion for the character and everything. And seeing her interviews and all that, absolutely love that and love her. Got myself a new fan. Got my, she's got a new fan in me. She could be very much on that list of favorite actresses just from how cool of a person she seems to be. And I hope, with all things holy, that James Gunn keeps her for the Supergirl film that's coming, because she's just, from what I've seen trailer wise, she's fantastic, and what I've seen interview wise and everything, she seems incredibly awesome as a person. So wish them best for her, and she's doing awesome with the press and all that, as well as the Machetes. Andy and Barbara Machete are out there doing some great stuff, man. So a lot of stuff going on there. As far as the premiere, Ezra Miller will be appearing at the premiere. He will not be, or excuse me, they will not be taking any questions or anything like that. They're going to be there for the premiere of the film, take some photos, all that stuff, but they will not, of course, be taking interviews or anything like that. As far as the future of The Flash, a script for the sequel has apparently been completed already, and Michael Keaton and Sasha Calle will be special guest in the film, much like this movie, with Miller expected to return, especially if Andy Machete is making it, because he's already said he will not recast or replace Ezra Miller if DC Studios greenlights The Flash. He said the other depictions of the character are great, but this particular vision of the character, that they just excelled in doing it. And as you said, the two Barrys, it feels like a character that was made for them, which I've heard a lot of and seen a lot of with reviews of the the test screenings or the special screenings and all that, is that Ezra's absolutely incredible playing both characters. Um, Barbara went on to say, excuse me, um, Andy and Barbara were, of course, asked about Miller. Andy said, "We have a lot of empathy in general for people who need help, and especially in the mental health issues. That's why they are taking necessary steps to deal with their recovery, and we support them in that." End quotes. Barbara has praised Miller's acting skills, saying they are brilliant and the most committed and the most professional actor. Ezra gave everything for this role, physically, creatively, emotionally, they were absolutely supreme. End quote. And we need more people like the Machetes in the world. There's so many people just constantly just attacking Ezra Miller. And again, if you look at the stuff, you'll realize, Ezra's not the person that being painted the way that they are being painted. Um, and it's nice to see the support for Ezra finally. Let's see. As far as if the Flash was ever going to be canceled because of what was going on with Ezra, Barbara Machete said, "Not at all. No, that was never real." So, of course, that was never going to happen. And let's see. The Flash itself will, of course, be opening in theaters very soon on June 16th. Catch me in the theaters every single week watching that movie, maybe even multiple times a week watching that film because I love the Flash. I love DC. I'm so excited for this movie. I love Keaton Batman. Obviously love Sasha Calle as Supergirl, and of course love Ezra Miller as a Flash, and just in general, I'm an Ezra Miller fan. I'm so happy they are getting the help for mental health because that is the most important thing here. Let's see. Speaking of Andy Machete, rumors have been running rampant all day that Andy Machete has been um, tasked with directing the Brave and the Bold Batman and Robin DC film that is slated for Chapter 1 of the DCU. This is going to be, of course, the third director we know for a DCU project, with James Gunn, of course, directing Superman Legacy, and before announced, James Mangold will be directing Swamp Thing. Now, mind you, very much a rumor. This has not been confirmed by James Gunn, DC, anything like that, as they're recording this episode. So take that, of course, with a grain of salt. Now, with that said, he would obviously be able to do a fantastic job. One, we already know how great of a director he is. And from everything we're hearing from The Flash, it's going to be an incredible film. Two, he works with two Batmen in this movie. So there, it's he's got some work with the Batman to be able to make a Batman film. So I'm all for it. I'm all for him making multiple films again in the DC universe because again, he is just that freaking good. And Barbara, let's not forget about Barbara. She's doing fantastic work alongside him with everything they're working on together. So we'll see, man. But I'm so excited about the DC stuff going on. Other DC film that's coming out this year, I mentioned earlier, is Blue Beetle. Today, two images, I want to say, were released. Another image of Blue Beetle and an image of the villain, I believe, was released today. I saw quickly skimming. I don't want to look at that before seeing the movie, but I did see that was out there if you want to see it. And other news involving Blue Beetle is that Becky G, actress and singer, will be voicing Scarab in the film. That is the being that controls, So, good on her, man. I know her most acting wise. I know her mostly for the Yellow Ranger. She was the Yellow Ranger in the 2017 Power Rangers film. I thought she was good. Honestly, I enjoy that film. My only issue really with that movie is the Megazord, and Goldar. Goldar was all right, but I don't know. I don't know why I changed it up. That 30th anniversary thing came out this year for the Power Rangers, worked. We don't need to change them up, man. But yeah, good for her, man. Glad she is going to be a part of the DC universe. Let's see. Speaking of the universe, Aquaman 2. Got some stuff from James Wan on this film, saying it will still tackle and focus on climate change. That was something that was reported that Jason Momoa brought to the filming for this second go around of the Aquaman universe. The DCU has been going through a lot of different versions, and one of the things that was challenging about this film was keeping track of what's going on, James Wan said. Fortunately, though, the Aquaman universe is pretty far removed from the rest of the world. We're going to many different underwater kingdoms that are not necessarily related to what's happening with the other movies and characters. So we're standalone in that respect. So I can just tell my story on its own without being affected too much. But at the same time, I have to be mindful of what's still happening. Aquaman 2 is hitting theaters this year, December 20th, 2023. I think I've worked my way into seeing this movie, especially hearing that Amber Heard will not be in it too much. Most of her scenes have been cut, apparently. So I guess I can go to support DC and James Wan, and then, Jason Momoa, of course. But seeing Amber Heard's gonna be annoying. All right, let's see. Other news and rumors out there. Variety has reported that former Bold and the Beautiful star Pearson Fody, may be in the running to play DC's Superman. Apparently, the actor sent in a self-tape, which includes footage of his childhood on a farm and Washington. The outlet also noted that DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn liked what he saw. End quote. Again, take this with a grain of salt because we have not heard it from DC or James Gunn himself. James did say he's gonna, pull back on stuff, dealing with stuff like this. But I don't know who this Pearson Fody. Yeah, yes, I think Bold and Beautiful is a show my mom watched. Don't know this guy. I think the only time I've ever run into his name is I think he maybe dated Victoria Justice at one point. I don't know. Like I have no idea. I'm a Victoria Justice fan. She's a fantastic singer, so ran into him there, I think, because the name seems familiar, but I can't tell you anything that dude's been in. But I mean, he looks like a handsome dude, so I mean, if he wants to play the role of Superman or whatnot, if James Gunn goes for that, whatever, I'm just ready. Just ready for the DC stuff, man. All right, fun little thing here to end with the DC. Mark Hamill says backlash over Michael Keaton's Batman casting is what helped inspire him to audition for the Joker. Um, that's funny. That's fun. Yes, back in the day before the internet was insanely ridiculous and the way it is now with the casting, it was just as bad back in the day when Michael Keaton was announced as Batman. They're like, "You're getting a comedic actor to play Batman," which is hilarious. Thinking coming off the Adam West show because that show wasn't super serious, but uh, you know, that's cool. That led Mark Hamill to, auditioning. He was worried about being getting the role because, of course, he was Luke Skywalker and this hero character playing this ultimate villain character and all that stuff. Was worried about that, but he auditioned and ended up becoming quite possibly the greatest Joker of all time as far as voice goes. Maybe in general. It depends on what you want to say. Let's see. Going from there to horror, Devon Sawa wants to play Freddy Krueger, apparently. Now, if you don't know who Devon Sawa is, what are you doing with your life, man? This dude was in, of course, the Final Destination films. Idle Hands, frickin' Casper, frickin' The Little Giants. And, of course, the first two seasons of Chucky. So he's got a little bit of horror there, and well, I mean a good bit of horror. Idle Hands, Final Destination, and Chucky. So he's had his hands in the horror realm, and he apparently wants to play Freddy Krueger. Now something came out earlier, not too long ago, where Robert Englund again said that he will not be returning to the role of Freddy Krueger because he's getting too old and it's tough for him with his back and everything. Which just let the guy retire. Like he's not coming back to play the character. We've heard him say this multiple times. We love Robert Englund. We appreciate Robert Englund. We appreciate everything he gave us. Let the guy, enjoy retirement. As far as Devon Sawa as Freddy Krueger, I don't know. I would have to see like a testing or something like that. I mean, he's not a bad actor by any means, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not picturing him fully as Freddy Krueger at the moment. Um, I don't know who I would have play Freddy. You know what? I do know who I'd have play Freddy Krueger. The guy who did a version of Freddy Krueger in the damn Freddy vs. Jason movie. And I'm not talking about freaking fake Jay from Jay and Silent Bob. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about freaking Zach Ward, man. That scene, I remember that scene the most from anything in Freddy vs. Jason because he freaking embodied Freddy Krueger when Freddy Krueger was embodying him. That is who I think could play Freddy Krueger fantastically. Other than that, freaking just to have freaking Ewan McGregor do it or something. I don't know. I have no idea who should play Freddy Krueger. I'm sure they would probably want to go a younger route to try to make a franchise out of the films again. Well, let's just make one movie and see how it does first. The last one did not end up doing too well. Okay, Chucky and Michael have been carrying the horror franchise for a while. While the other horror icons have been, doing nothing, pretty much. um, Freddy Krueger, we haven't had anything in a while, and Jason, we haven't had anything in a while. Of course, Jason was lawsuit issues. I think there might have been a little bit of issue with Freddy Krueger lawsuit wise or rights wise or whatever. But mostly Jason was having lawsuit issues, and that's got resolved. We got a show coming for Jason. Michael probably taking hiatus for a while, but of course Michael will be back. Chucky has season 3 coming. Leatherface, I'm sure they'll do another reboot and it'll be awful like the rest of them. So what can you do, man? You just have to wait and see what happens. But Freddy Krueger may be coming back. Yes, maybe. Who knows? Do you want to see Devin Sawa as Freddy Krueger, man? Let me know. Or who do you want to see as Freddy Krueger? Drop it in the comments, man. Let me know. Let's see. Michael Keaton talking Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is the most effing fun you can have working, Keaton told Empire. It's so fun. It's so great. And you know what it is? We're doing it exactly like we did the first movie. There's a woman in the great waiting room. I was speaking green waiting room. Great waiting room for the afterlife, literally with a fishing line. I want people to know this because I love it. We both agreed if it happens, it has to be done as close to the way we made it the first time, making stuff up, making stuff happen, improvising and riffing, but literally handmade stuff like people creating things with their hands and building something. Effing great. It's the most fun I've had making a movie, and I can't tell you how long. Beetlejuice 2 is expected to release September 6th, 2024. Good, man. I'm glad he's having a great time with it. I'm glad we finally are getting a Beetlejuice sequel after so many years of just endless rumors that a sequel was happening. He was going to Hawaii at one point. But finally getting a sequel with Keaton returning, with Ryder returning, with Catherine returning, and Jenna Ortega joining the fun. Speaking of spooky, fun, good time movies, Hocus Pocus is getting a third film officially. It's not too surprising. The second film did very well on Disney Plus, breaking records for first streaming, debut streaming. So, yeah, we were definitely going to get another Hocus Pocus film, which I am glad, man. I loved that first film. I enjoyed the second one, and I can't wait for the third one, man. I have our favorite sisters back for a third go around. Of course, back when part 2 came out, they did mention they tried to get some of the original cast back. I want to say the character names I'm blanking on. Thor Birch, of course, played Danny. She was busy shooting something else at the time, I believe. And they couldn't get Allison and Max back for round 2. They tried, but couldn't make it work out. But they did say if we ended up making a part 3, we're going to try even again. So hopefully they can get Danny, Allison, and Max back for this third to go around again with our favorite sisters, man. We love those Sanderson sisters. We have a good time, man. And Hocus Pocus is like living a good life. I remember like freaking, was it Spirit Halloween or whatever? Is that the name of the place, Spirit Halloween? They've got Hocus Pocus up and all that stuff, man. So cool. Fun time. I've always enjoyed that first Hocus Pocus film. Can't wait for more of the Pocus Hocus. Let's see. Renfield. Film I did have fun with earlier this year that is officially hitting the Peacock on June 9th. That's this week, right? Yeah, that's in 3 days as of recording this episode. June 9th, man. Can't wait to check that movie out again. Again, I did have fun with it. So it is hitting the Peacock soon this week, man. And last bit of horror news here to talk about. I just love that they keep doing this. A horror retelling of Sleeping Beauty is on the way. The film will be titled Sleeping Beauty's Massacre. It is a violent twist after twist with a gory and graphic deaths to ensue. I love that they're doing this, man. I still have not seen Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I've still not seen that. I know they're making another one of that. There's like talks of a Tinkerbell one, a Bambi one, a Cinderella one, and now we've got Sleeping Beauty, man. Just keep making them all. Like, make all of them. Keep making these demented Disney freaking movies, man. I love it so much that people are just taking the chance and, working on it and doing this and doing that, man. Why not? Like, if you can get, if you got the rights to do it, why not, dude? Especially, like, most of these Disney stories have, like, a messed up original, like, tale before, it got Disney-fied, right? So, freaking have fun. Like, have a blast, man. If you get the chance to make something, make it, dude. Like, just make whatever it is that you're, interested in making. be it these demented Disney tales or, a podcast like this or maybe a, better podcast, or whatever you're interested in making, man. Just go out there and do your thing, man. Just have fun and experience and all that stuff. You're going to find your audience, you're going to find your jam, no matter what, as long as you're having fun. That's awesome. Now, of course, keep it legal, keep it legal, but, positive. Let's keep it positive, okay? Let's see. Other news. Tom Holland has spoken on Spider-Man 4, saying, quote, "I can't talk about that, but I can say that we have been having meetings, and we've put the meetings on pause in solidarity with the writers. There's been multiple conversations had, but at this point, it's very, very early stages," end quote. Seems like Tom Holland is learning because he is Mr. Spoiler Man. But yeah, I mean, it's good to know a Spider-Man 4 is coming. I think we all had a feeling a Spider-Man 4 was going to happen, but it's good to know that they're still working on things over there. And of course, we have to wait till the writer's strike ends before they can get back going full force. Other Spider news: Amy Pascal, who's the producer over there with Sony, has said that Spider-Woman, and a live-action Miles Morales movie are in the works, and we will see Spider-Woman sooner than expected. Exciting. I think we have a Madam Web movie coming. We got the Kraven the Hunter film coming. So, Sony's finally jumping in that Spider-Verse. I guess the best way to put it. With these live action films, there's another Venom movie, right? Another Venom movie on the way, and then, whatever they do in the MCU, which I'm glad they're working together, and Sony got smart. It's like, let's work with Marvel, a little bit over here in the MCU. They seem to be doing a pretty good job. Let's work with them instead of being stupids. But yeah, a lot of stuff happening over there in the Spider-Verse. Be it the animated films and the live action world and video games, apparently. Can't wait to play that game, dude. It's going to be so cool. Let's see. Dwayne Johnson, old Dewey Johnson, is in the news. We know Dwayne. He's always, working on something. He's always got something that he is working on, and this time it is going back to the Fast and the Furious universe. I just rather see him do another Fast movie. I mean, that movie, Faster or whatever it was called. Faster? What was it called? Now I gotta know. What the heck was the name of that movie? I feel like it was called Faster. Of course, you can't search fast because all things that come up is going to be Fast and the Furious films. Where are you? Faster. There you go. Faster, where he doesn't really say anything whatsoever in that movie. Anyways, he's back in the Fast and Furious universe. He'll be reprising his role, of course, as Luke Hobbs. The next Fast and Furious film you'll see, this is from The Rock, quote, "The next Fast and Furious film you'll see the legendary lawman and will be the Hobbs movie that will serve as a fresh new chapter and set up for Fast X Part 2. I hope that's not the name of that movie. It should be Fasten Your Seatbelts again. Oh, he also went on to say, I laugh like freaking Keenan Thompson. And that skit on all that. Oh. Now I sound like, what's his name? Mickey. Oh my God, let me get out of here. He also said, "Last summer, Vin Diesel and I put all the past behind us. We'll lead with brotherhood and resolve and always take care of the franchise characters and fans that we love." My Rock impression sounds like Arnold. I love that they all of a sudden have a love for the franchise characters and fans. To no longer feud. Whatever. "I've built my career on an audience-first mentality, and that will always serve as my North Star." End quote. Good for him. I did not like Hobbs and Shaw. Gonna be 100% honest with you. I did not like that movie. And again, I'm not a fan of this Fast and Furious franchise. No matter what, I like The Rock. He's kind of been hard to deal with since Black Adam came out. But other than that, I mean, I've always liked The Rock, mostly wrestling wise. But I've enjoyed some of his films. Rundown still his best film. But like, I didn't care less about these Fast and Furious films. I did enjoy this last one, but that was because of Jason Momoa, which we're going to talk about that in a moment because that's an apparent rumor that's going around right now. But, I mean, it looks like he's just going back to the roots. After Black Adam didn't work out as well as he thought it was going to work out, It's still a film I did enjoy, but it's not the best. Um, he's going back to his roots here. Fast and Furious. He's doing the live action Moana film. He's trying to find where to go. Are they still doing that freaking Jungle Cruise movie? Is there another Jumanji movie on the way as well? I feel like all this stuff is still happening. Again, Dewey's always working on something. I'm gonna call him Dewey. I don't know him well enough, but I'm gonna call him Dewey. But you know, wish him the best. He seems. I don't know. I have no idea. I didn't like that Hobbs and Shaw movie, man. So we're gonna have to wait and see how this turns out. Also, it kind of reads like he's doing a Hobbs movie that leads into Fast X, but it doesn't mean he's gonna be part of it or not. I mean, you would assume he is, but will he be there? Will he not be there? Will he actually be working with Vin, or will he not be working with Vin? Are they trying to salvage things here with the Fast franchise? Who knows? Going from that, though, apparently Vin Diesel has another rivalry with the Fast and the Furious castmate, and that's Jason Momoa. Have you seen these rumors? These rumors have now come out that Vin Diesel is upset with Jason Momoa's, quote, overacting in the Fast film. Okay, Vin, shut up. Shut up. Like, what are we doing? Jason Momoa is the best part of that Fast movie. I'm sorry that, he overshadowed you and your not good acting. I'm sorry that he is a much better actor than you are. Let's calm it down. Again, these are rumors. This might not be true whatsoever, but if it is true, what are we doing? Jason Momoa is the best part of that film. Jason Momoa is a better actor. End story. There's nothing else to go on there, like, at all. Like, that's it. I think Vin just, if true, just wants to feud with somebody on set, and he's mad that Jason Momoa overshadowed him in the final Fast films. But if it's true, freaking screw Vin Diesel again. All right, is that last? Yeah, that's the last thing. Last movie news. One last thing I got here is for us Sony PlayStation fans. Sony has revealed the PS Plus essentials for June as we enter a new month. The essentials for the PS Plus happen every month, and this month, pretty interesting, man. So the trio of PlayStation Plus games include Jurassic World Evolution 2, NBA 2K23, and Trek to Yumi. They will be available June 6th, which is the recording of this episode. They are available now until July 3rd. I'm excited for Jurassic World Evolution. I want to play a Jurassic game, but they don't make anything other than these freaking park simulator things where you create a park and you build the dinosaurs and all that. But now that's kind of free-ish. Of course, they pay for PlayStation Plus every month, but I'm not paying for the price of the game. It might be worth trying. Maybe it turns out like Guardians of the Galaxy did. Freaking love that game. Downloaded that game for free when it was part of the PlayStation Plus Essentials. Love that game to death. Love that soundtrack. Like, I rock those songs almost every day, man. And I'm talking about the songs made for the game. Like, there's two soundtracks, man. There's the Star-Lord songs. There's a Star-Lord band in the game. And there are, your typical Guardians of the Galaxy kind of themes and all that stuff. But the band, the Star-Lord band, having a great time. Having a great time with that. Had a great time in that game. So hopefully, the same thing will happen with Jurassic World here. NBA 2K23, I haven't played an NBA game since Pizza Hut. They had the arcade systems in there that you can play that, and I was on fire. Remember that? Boom Shakalaka and all that stuff. Good times. But again, free. I might check it out. I think there's like a Michael Jordan mode or something on it. Trek to Yumi. Do not know what that is. I have to look further into that, but pretty solid month, man. I get a Jurassic game to check out, so it's positive for me, man. You know what else is positive? That's the end of the show. Appreciate you joining in along for this whole ride here of this episode. Let me know in the comments what you think about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse if you have seen it. As well, let me know what you think about Devon Sawa playing Freddy Kruger, if you would like that idea. If you don't like that idea, who would you like to see play the man with the knives of fingers? But anyways, that's gonna be the end of this episode. Appreciate you all. As always, please again like, subscribe, share the show with people, get the word and the show out there. But yeah, always thankful for anybody who tunes into this mess of a show that I put on. And I just want to remind you all that you are amazing and that happiness can always be found, even in the darkest of times, if one remembers to turn on the light. Talk to you all next episode.